My name is Josh Doral, and I'm the director of Galveston Urban Ministries. We started just a little over 2 years ago after God called my wife and I to move to Galveston. We love this city. We love the beaches. We love the neighborhoods. We love this city. When we started Galveston Urban Ministries, we realized there was several aspects that we wanted to be a part of. We call them our GUM-ES, which is engaging, equipping, and empowering. We believe that it's the church's responsibility to be engaging to the community. Oftentimes we find ourselves walled up in our buildings, spending so much time, energy, and resources within the four walls. And yet oftentimes we forget about the world outside. We believe in living missionally and want to live our lives outside the four walls of the church. And we want to encourage others to do the same. The neighborhood that we live in is one of those neighborhoods that many people try to avoid, that our neighbors say they want to get out of. And my wife and I decided that we should move into the neighborhood to become neighbors, to learn about our community and to learn about those who live in extreme poverty. The second is equipping. We believe in helping engage and encouraging other churches and the middle class and the haves and the versus the have-nots to really understand how to serve the poor. Oftentimes there's such a large gap between those who don't have, and we want to make sure that we're helping others understand what that looks like. And so we are actively trying to speak as many places as we can to encourage others to learn about the poor that are so complicated sometimes and challenging. And so we want to make sure that we're educating people, not pointing a finger in anyone's face, but lovingly share stories about those that we spend our time with and those that we live next door to. And thirdly, we want to be about empowerment. We believe that for people to truly develop themselves and to become who God created them to be, they oftentimes need to be empowered. So many that we work with live in what's been described to us as hopelessness and loneliness and a life without expectation. And I hate that. And I believe that when we give people or walk alongside with people with giving them the skills that they need to get jobs, to finish a GED or go back and get more education, to continue to further themselves, to become who God created them to be. To us, that's what it means to serve and love God, to live out a holistic gospel that cares about people physically, emotionally, and spiritually. We love God. We love the church. We live for that. But we believe oftentimes we live very small, and we want to encourage others to engage the community, to learn to love their neighbors, and step into the places that are sometimes hard. We're grateful for what God's called us to be a part of. It's challenging, it's fun, it's exciting, and yet we can't do this by ourselves. We need you, the Church of Galveston, the Church of God, to walk alongside ministries like ours and others in this city. We're not the only place in Galveston, but we love what God's called us to, and we're grateful for all that we get to do.
I was really impressed that this truly was a grassroots, bottoms-up kind of organization and not a top-down. And coming in the community to work with the people in the community, to do something with them and not to them. So many other programs I've seen here in the past are not really a part of the community. They're imposed on the community. So I like that idea a lot. I think it resonates well to empower people toward change, to take personal responsibility, to not insult them with handouts all the time, but hand-ups, where they can really move their life up toward goals, whether it's to improve the safety of the neighborhood they live in, to improve the education of their children, the opportunity their children have, or if it's just to improve themselves, going back to school, getting a job, taking better care of their house, finding a decent place to live and creating a safe neighborhood for their children so they can play outside safely. I mean, I'm really impressed with the way your organization is approaching some of our community's problems. I think the church has some significant roles, Josh, to play with community development. So often our churches have been edifices in the community. You know, from my office I can look out in the downtown Galveston and I can see so many of the churches, many of whom have been there since the 1840s. And they're beautiful buildings, but in so many cases they've lost touch with the people who used to fill those pews. And I think the church has to be synonymous now with community. It has to be within the community. It has to live and breathe and exist in the neighborhoods in which people live. I think you got to meet people where they are, in the situation where they are, and you got to reach out to them where they are. You introduce God through a personal relationship that you build with that person. And that's kind of hard to do sitting on the pew of a church. You've got to be out where the person is. And I'm not opposed to organized religion. I think it has a very, very important place. I participate every week at my church. I think it's extremely important. But I think it's a vehicle for reaching people.
But Galveston went from inside and worked his way back out. I thought the most beautiful thing that I ever saw was that his love for the kids in the neighborhood, and actually be considered probably the worst part of the neighborhood here in Galveston, Texas. By working on the inside, he knocked one wall down real quickly. That they're just human beings over here, and it was a need for the ministry to work with these people. And the way he handled it was he did it through their children. And I thought that was just unbelievable way to communicate with the community, especially in this area. The most amazing thing they've done is they took a hold of these kids and made them a part of their life, to where it's every Saturday. I mean, the kids were actually looking for them. We always have some little jokes about who they are when they come, and say, well, here come some white people coming over here. But it soon went away to where it was the Galveston Urban Ministry was here, and it brought other people to the community. The Galveston Urban Ministry is a very needed program, a very communicated program, and a very understanding program. And I really look forward every Saturday to see Josh and his crew come in to bring life to the kids over here and give them hope that God is still alive.